OppFi, ticker symbol OPFI. I called this name out a couple months ago, and honestly, we had a massive move down after I called it out, to April lows. But since then, if you would have bought during April lows at like $7 or $8, you would have made a massive double up already. So OppFi, they're a smaller company, smaller cap company, and what they do is essentially they're a bank. They give out loans, but they give out loans to people who typically can't get them. They're going to give out the loans to the people with a sub 500, sub 600 credit score that, they're not going to give out hundreds of thousands of dollars. Their typical average loan is around $2,000. So it's nothing crazy. They're giving out these smaller loans. Yes, they're charging higher percentage rates, but they're charging higher percentage rates because the risk is higher. And I understand that people think this is unethical and all this different stuff. And I'm not here to question those people. I'm not here to get into a battle about this company and the ethical way they do things with handing out loans. I'm strictly here to tell you that this company and their cash flow, their revenue, their EPS, what they're doing, and if they were to continue on this trend, even if they came down a little bit on revenue growth and stuff, I'm here to tell you that the risk to reward on this investment, you're not running this business. Yes, you are becoming a shareholder of this business, but you are simply investing in this company. And you can choose to invest in however you want and whatever company you want. And I'll just be totally honest with you. If you really want to invest based off of ethical reasoning, you're going to have a very tough time finding those companies that don't fire people, that don't lay off people for bad reasons, that don't hurt people in some different way or another, whether it be social media or whether it be, an accidental spill in the ocean or whatever it may be. Okay. I'm not trying to get into all this, but you just got to realize, guys, investing is investing. And if you choose to go down this route, you don't have to turn a blind eye to this stuff, but you just got to realize that 99% of these companies are not going to be squeaky clean. And if that's not okay with you, then I would just throw your money in the SP 500, which you're investing in these companies anyways. If you have a 401k, you're investing in these companies anyways. But yeah, so I just want to address that real quick because I know I was getting a lot of, not heat, but I was getting a lot of people saying like this company's terrible. They're the worst of the worst, like because they give loans to people that have lower credit scores and they hike up the rates on them. That's the name of the game, guys. If you want to go buy a house and your credit score is not great, that bank has to take risk giving you that $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 loan. So they're going to probably charge you a little bit extra to sweeten the deal for themselves. You would do the same thing if you were in their shoes giving out a loan to somebody. So, but anyways, Fintech stock poised for a 2,457% surge. Massive opportunity with this name. You really could turn 1,000 into $24,570, which would be absolutely crazy. Not saying that's like a guaranteed thing to happen or anything. It's just like if you look at the numbers and if they're able to do the things that I think they can, you could definitely see a massive move in this company. OppFi at a glance. So OppFi is a tech-enabled, mission-driven specialty finance platform that broadens the reach of community banks to extend credit access to everyday Americans. So OppFi at a glance, the mission-driven platform providing best-in-class products and customer service with 778 NPS score, significant economic scale, profitable across business cycles, large addressable market, 60 plus million US customers either have no bank account or lack adequate access, other traditional financial services. That's definitely a filler thing. Okay. That's like me saying like, oh man, like not everybody has a car, and that's a huge market because not everybody has a car. Strong fundamentals and balance sheet, operating efficiency driven, strong free cash flow and robust balance sheet, which position OppFi for growth. And we just go through the rest of this stuff, guys. I posted a bunch of different stuff. Their recent quarter, they just absolutely crushed it. Full year 2025 earnings guidance. Total revenue of $563 million to $594, affirmed it. They raised their adjusted net income and they raised their adjusted EPS. So they raised all of that for the 2025 guidance and just affirm the revenue, which is I'm fine with all the uncertainty that we're going to see here. So OppFi, it's a loan program. It definitely could be a very large company, potentially, right? They, if we go over here to our high five snapshot, they are only a $1.2 billion market cap. They are very, very small, very, very small, and just have a massive amount of room to grow. Their free cash flow margins 56% and 63% as of right now, giving them a terminal value of 15. They currently have 311 essentially, if you round up, $311 million in free cash flow. They're only diluting by about 5 million of that 311 million. They have positive net cash flow of over debt of 22 billion, not cash flow, but the net cash to net debt ratio. Small amount of shares, and they're $14.18 right now. And I mean, you see these numbers, they're not crazy growth numbers, they're not crazy EPS growth numbers, and I just throw these numbers in here, guys, and it's absolutely sickening what you can see. The risk reward on this company, get ethical, don't get ethical, the risk reward on this company is just so silly. I'm not going $100,000 in this company, but I am buying a decent amount of this company, in a range of 1 to 5% of my portfolios. Could it not work out? Of course it could not work out. But if I'm just looking at this, I'm willing to risk 1 to 5% of my portfolio because it's just a massive upside. 95% margin of safety, $286 fair value, and it's at $14 right now. And that's what me just beating it up. Like just beating it up. I could put a 5P, I could put a 1P or forward free cash flow. It's just crazy. Like it's just wild. It's wild. 15 current PE, 11 forward PE, 0.22 peg ratio. Do I think that OppFi is going to go and be a $286 market or price one day? I mean, they're going to have to do a lot right. But do I need them to be $286 per share? No, they're at $14.18. If they got to $28, that's a double up. And I'd be cool with that, with the amount of money I'll put in. Like, it's just crazy. Like, these numbers, like, don't even make sense sometimes. Like, with this company and with OppFi and Oscar, these numbers just don't even make sense. With every other company, though, the numbers make so much sense. But with these two companies, they don't make sense at all. And when I say they don't make sense, it's just like I'm punching in like the worst case scenario and it's still spitting back out like this is crazy undervalued. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, you got to take it with a grain of salt. The $286, you should not be sitting there like, oh my God, $286, that's going to be amazing when it hits that. Like, no, you should be happy with 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 per share or something like that for this company, because $100 per share or so, $100 per share or so, we'd be looking at like a $10 billion market cap or something. So, almost a 10x. So just crazy amounts of growth with this company, and it really could make a small position into a very, very large position if they deliver. So OppFi, just looking at the chart here too, guys, the chart just looks amazing. We bottomed out here when we first started, had this rounded bottom. You can even say a rounded bottom with this, with a handle, so a cup and handle, and then we shot up, came back down, shot up, came back down, but just keep riding this trend line right here. And now we're going back up to the red barrier. Meanwhile, we came down, we had our high resistance, we retested it, broke through a little bit in April, retested and jumped back up higher. And now we were fastly approaching our all-time highs at $18. And the measured move for this rounded bottom is up to $21 per share. And like I said, guys, it could just keep climbing. If we get up here and build a Williams consolidation box like that, we could just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. I just showed you how undervalued this company is. I just showed you how you throw the worst numbers in on this company, and they literally are just crazy undervalued. So when you're able to do something like that, a name like this, if it gets on a trend and people get behind it, it can keep running, especially if Wall Street sees it. It could just keep running for a very, very, very long time.